Good evening, class. Today's lesson is going to be about Marvel Select Zombie Spider-Man. Okay, see it here in the package. Now, the package for this thing is absolutely huge. Let's start there. Like, look at all this packaging for something that's, you know, probably not that big. But, oh well. So we have a look at the packaging. We can see that picture there of Spider-Man as a zombie, which is going to be, well, it's kind of the reverse of what we've got up here, isn't it? That's okay. We can see it's over here. We can see it's Marvel Select, and it is the zombie Spider-Man with highly detailed base, or belong to us. Haha, just kidding. Taking more of a look on here, we got the side. We got that picture of Spider-Man, the zombie in the back there. Now on the back, we've got the Marvel Zombies cover. I'm not sure which one that is. Oh, it says 1. Okay, there we go. There we go, just need to learn to read. There we've got a picture of Spider-Man and his base. And then down here we can also get Colonel America and Zombie Hulk. For some reason in the comic, he wasn't Captain America anymore. He'd been promoted to Colonel. Or demoted? I don't know how it goes. But anyways, he's not Captain America, he's Colonel. I think Colonel's higher. Anyways, got another picture there of the zombie Spider-Man. You can see Diamond Select Toys, where to find your local geek shop. A proof of purchase. I don't know what I need to hold on to that for. Move, I have to go out a little bit. Big picture there of Zombie Spider-Man, which I think is a ripoff of the Todd McFarlane, that famous cover that he did of Spider-Man. So there we have it. I'm going to dig him out, and we're going to have a closer look at Spider-Man as one of the Marvel Zombies. So, just hold on a minute. We'll be right back at you. Okay. So it is Zombie Spider-Man that we're looking at now. We can have a closer look. We'll get rid of the little bits of that poor silver colored dude on a surfboard, and we'll look at that in a little more in a second, but we'll look at Petey himself. Now the colors, you know, it's what we would expect from a Spider-Man figure that's, well, dead and decaying and probably rolling around in the dirt a little bit. We got the standard blue and the red. It's interesting to point out that they're both kind of a very matte, flat color. They're not too shiny at all, except for parts on his shoulders. The skin is kind of a yellowish kind of color. We can see that on the hands, a little bit on the legs, and then the gore, the blood has been made even a little bit darker in most cases. But what really sets for me this figure apart is the amount of detail that's on it. If we can look at his head again a little bit closer, we can see, you know, the individual teeth there in his mouth. I don't think he has a nose anymore. I don't know how well we can see it there. And we can see how parts of his face have been, I'm going to say, ripped off. The mask along the side of his face is damaged. The glass on his one eye is gone. And we can see the white pupil, the white eyeball underneath, showing that he's a zombie, because that's the way zombies tend to look in a lot of these things. We can see his shoulders mangled, all the bits of damage that have happened to there in his arm. Same thing with the other side. Up here on the upper torso or along the shoulder, that's probably where Colonel America bit him. On evil sod as he is. Yeah, that's right, I just spoiled it. Oh, come on, if you haven't read Marvel Zombies, you don't care. You can see again more damage to his body and his chest. This leg, it looks like it was gnawed on by a pack of dogs or something. But again, we can see all the damage here to the leg. All the bits of flesh that are gone, ripped down to the bone. Again, a few more chunks taken out of him. He's got the one leg that's literally just a couple pieces of bone there that's attached to his knee and his ankle. Yeah. And again, more of the damage on the other calf. What's neat is that if you look, we can see how even part of the boot there is ripped off and hanging down. And then at the bottom of his boot, you can actually see some of his toes sticking out. So he is in dire need of a new costume. But he doesn't seem to care anymore, because he's more concerned with consuming the flesh of the living. Okay. Now in terms of posability, some of the standard things we would expect. The head does do the full twist around, which is okay because he's dead, it won't hurt him anymore. The arms we can move up, back down, and then we can move it up this way a little bit, rotate. I guess it's supposed to do that, but that sound always scares me just a little. We can bend here at the elbow, and the hand we can twist at the wrist. It just doesn't do it very well. Same thing with the other side, even though this hand moves a little bit easier. The hips, well, we can go forward and back and out to the side and do Spider-Man kick. And then we can bend the knee here, it's got the one joint. And then at the ankle we can do the same thing. The other leg, I should point out now, it's got the same kind of hip movement. The knee on this side will rip his leg off there, kind of like he does to himself. If we look at this leg here, we can see the joint right there, and we can see that bit that is going to connect to the rest of his leg. I've never actually bent this because, let's face it, there's a good chance that's just going to snap right off. So if you want to get one of these, I wouldn't even recommend trying to bend that leg. I figure there's a good chance that's just going to come right off. We can pop that back in. So in terms of articulation, not too bad. Oh, sorry, he can move here at the waist. He can go all the way around. My bad. So there we have it. So we can stand him there for a second, as well as he's gonna. And actually, I should also point out, as I'm moving and manipulating his joints, I don't know how well you can see it, but I've got little specks of paint that have chipped off and come onto my hands. I noticed it before on the shoulders, and I expect the hips are the same. So as you move this thing around, you're going to have some of the paint come off. We just had another big piece come off right there. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of, well, messy to begin with and a little bit annoying secondary. But anyways, we'll leave him standing there. We can look at the base now. It is Silver Surfer, or what's left of him. Spoiler alert, I'll give you a couple seconds if you need to jump away. This is what's left of Silver Surfer, because in the comic, the Marvel zombies eat him, and he gets his in a fantastic way. I almost feel bad for him, except I don't really like him that much. And the Marvel zombies eat him. So we've got part of his body here. It's contorted. We got some of his, I guess, blood coming out from where his head used to be. Poor Silver Surfer. And then we've got, I guess you could think of it as the cosmic energy spewing out of him, which the Marvel zombies then acquire in that way. And it does kind of look like that. If you look in the comic, it's kind of the whitish blue with the black specks in it. I don't know if that's the way the Power Cosmic always looked, but that's the way it looks when it spews out of Silver Surfer. The rest of the bottom here, again, it's just a piece of gray, I guess, road from New York. I mean, it's plastic, but it's supposed to look that. But we can see the pock marks down here. We've got a couple of blocks, or stones, sorry. One thing, if we look at it from the bottom, is it looks like it has these puzzle pieces. And that's because they would connect to the Hulk, Zombie Hulk, and then Zombie Colonel America, if we so wanted to do so. Fortunately, I don't, because I don't really like Colonel America or the Hulk that much to buy them, but we could do that if we were so inclined. There's no special pegs or anything to put Spider-Man on, as we can see his feet do not have them, but we've got a place there we can put a foot, and a place there we can put a foot. So he does sort of sitting there pretty well. I say that and then I'm going to have a hard time standing him up. Probably this is not the kind of figure you're going to play around with too much. You're going to kind of put him in one pose that you like, and you're going to leave him there on your shelf to scare people who come and visit you, if you have people come and visit you. Or maybe just bug your wife or girlfriend, again, if you have those kind of people. So you're probably not going to move him around too much. It's definitely more of a display piece instead of something you play with. It's my first experience with Marvel Select, so I don't know if they're all going to be like that. One thing I should point out, even if I shake him a little bit, you can see how this leg is very loose. And it hasn't really been moved that much. The other one's kind of the same. The joints are already getting loose and hasn't moved that much. So it really does strike me as the kind of figure that you just kind of stand in place and let it guard your computer and scare off intruders and small children. So there we have Zombie Spider-Man. I'm going to give this figure a grade, you know what, of a B+. Now, maybe that might seem a little bit high, but I am biased towards Spider-Man because I like him, and I'm biased towards zombies because while I loathe them, they do fascinate me, so putting them together is pretty awesome. It's not as articulated as a Marvel Universe, is that the right? Marvel Legends, I'm sorry, figure. But that's okay. As I said, I don't think this is the kind of figure you're going to do that with. It would have been a little bit hard, but as you can see, the paint kind of comes off, and it is hard to pose. Otherwise, it's a good figure. If you see it, it's worth picking up. I believe that's it for me. I'm running out of time. Thank you very much. Class dismissed.